Alright guys, what we're going to do here is we're going to show you how to install an aftermarket skunk2 shift knob into your 9th generation 2013-2015 Honda Accord series, also fitting the 2014. After messing with this, seeing lots of different DIYs, I decided that I was going to try to see what I could come up with, because I did not want to ruin this in any way, shape, or form. I've seen glue, electrical tape, epoxy. I've seen where people have removed this whole console, gone underneath, changed the shift boot, and I wanted something more easily accessible, clean, and without having to risk damaging any of this. So what you can do is you go to Advanced Auto Parts and you can buy this kit. They're bypass caps. They're also called vacuum hose caps. These come in an assorted package. You can buy one individually, I'm sure, somewhere else. I just bought the whole package because I knew that's what I had bought before to get the piece that I needed. These come with 8 different pieces. There's 2 of each size here. You're only going to need one of them out of here. This one here is the one you will need. And I believe, not very good with measurements, I don't have a tape measure on me, but I believe that this is going to be the 5/8 one, because the larger one would be the 3/4. Now what you have to do is you take this here. I'm going to use this old school iPhone box as my little workstation. These are very thick, they're rubber, pliable. So what you do is you're going to take your knife and you're going to go onto the top part here in the middle and just push gently until you poke through a little bit. So you're making a kind of like a crack incision. Then you're going to go the opposite direction and you'll feel it as it slides. You do not want to cut all the way. And you'll just work your way around doing the same thing. When you get to the other sides that you've already done, it'll be a little bit easier because you've already done half of it. And this is what you're going to come up with. Now once you do that, this piece here, I already have mine done. So on here, if you look inside, when you look inside, you'll see that the piece is already in here. And what you're going to do is you'll bring this up all the way, your shift boot. This piece is going to go inside the collar on the inner portion here. Now when you put that on the inner portion, it's going to be very tight and very snug. If you just take a little bit of oil, I use 2-cycle oil, that's what I happen to have accessible, and just rub it around the edges of this, it makes it where this can literally slide into the collar. Once it slides into the collar, this piece now you'll have to go down over the actual shift assembly here. When you go to put this on, it's going to be very tight and hard to do. But I'm showing you with the one that I just made, where you'll go down and you push, holding your collar, because it's going to be in your collar, and you're going to have to push this down over it. Now if you look, you'll see that this one here that I've just put on, you can see that it's coming through, and you would just continue to push. And it'll eventually get down to the point, let me take this one off, it'll get down to the point where you see this here. This you can move a little bit as need be, because it's going to be very tight and very snug. Also, when you go to bring it up, the inner pieces here actually fold inward, so it makes a tighter grip. You can have this down, you can have this even further up. Further up I found is the best way to do it, because the knob itself is titanium, it's very durable, and the plastic's not going to damage it once it comes in contact with that. So once you do is you put your knob on here, and you just start to twist. You'll get to the point where you'll start to see your shift boots moving. Hold your shift boot, and keep twisting and turning your knob. This may work for other aftermarket knobs that have the same sort of styling. I obviously am only using a skunk2, but I'm sure other ones will work with this. We're gonna keep turning, and as I'm turning, you'll feel and you'll know that it's pushing this down, so it'll continue to stay completely lined up. I'm starting to get a little tight here on my turns, And now you can see that my shift knob is completely lined up. I have all my gears in the standard formation. If you come down here on the side, you can give this boot a good little tug and a jiggle, and it's not going anywhere. Everything's in place. I can put it into gear. Once I put it into gear, I can easily shift it, and you see that the boot collar stays in place, no problems. And obviously I've added now the weight of the shift knob. It's also very comfortable for me. Depending on what you're going for knob wise, you may go with a knob that's a little bit higher, which in turn would be another aftermarket knob of your choice. You can see a slight hair gap towards the knob, but because this knob obviously comes down to it like a teardrop type formation, it almost actually goes inside of the collar a little bit, so it's not really that big of a deal. I'm sure you can look around, you can find this is the old shift knob. This is the problem that everybody has, where this attachment here snaps into this collar here. And because of that, none of the other knobs that you can buy aftermarket don't have this assembly. I didn't want to cut this off and try to reuse it or fabricate it in any way. This was the easiest way to do it. These kits from Advance are $6. Like I said, you could probably find just the one you need for even cheaper than that at a different auto parts store. This was just what I had bought originally, and wanted to show you exactly what I used. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message and ask, and hopefully you enjoy your Accord.